got to play ShipShape. So we actually got to play it twice this week. But before we get started, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell because board games are awesome. And that's what we do here at Legends of Nirvana. Now, this particular game was on a basically a countdown of games that should have went big that didn't. And so Randy...
It was a video I saw on someone else's channel that they proposed that. It was just their personal list of 10 that they thought was...
So Randy had to bring it out and see what he was talking about. So, Randy, can you tell us more about ShipShape?
Yeah, I believe this was a Kickstarter. It got back in 2019. That's the release year for it. I've had it on the shelf for a long time because I like pirate-themed games, and so I ordered it. It has a Board Game Geek rating of 6.8, a Board Game Geek rank of 4228, 2 to 6 player game. The average length it says is 20 to 40 minutes. It's closer to 20 minutes, I think.
No, it will never be 40
minutes. Yeah, 40 minutes seems long. Age 8 and up. Designed by Rob Davian. Art by Daniels Castillo, Andrew Hepworth, and Ben Wooten. It's published by Calliope Games. Now, it appears to be semi-out of print. I think some of the retailers still have copies of them because Miniature Market still shows it they have it in stock for $36. Amazon has it for $44.95. The MSRP, according to their sites, is $45. Interestingly, Card House is out of stock for it, but it has it listed with an MSRP of $30. So I'm not sure what the difference is there, but either way, they don't have it in stock. So $36 at Miniature Market was the cheapest I found it for new. Now, Board Game Geek, the Geek Market, they've got some used copies going for $25 to $35. So.
Okay, all right. So let's talk about quality of pieces. So I thought the tiles were really interesting.
Yeah, they're like a foam core.
Yeah, there's a foam core with two... there's obviously like a card stock on top of in between foam. So that was a pretty interesting decision on that part.
They're super light, but they're sturdy.
Yeah, so I thought that was an interesting take. Mm-hmm. I think it worked out fine with that. Then you've got your basic cardboard coins. They do have, they are custom. You have 1, 5s, and 10s. I thought the 5 was more blue than silver. But, I mean, they've got this little cool art design on them, so I didn't think that was so bad. Card quality wise, there's no linen finish to any of these. No. Very, very glossy, which
they got a decent thickness, but you don't have to shuffle them. You're only going to be playing, picking out your choices. There's 6 players and 6.
I know, and it's just me with a pirate themed game. I just feel like linen card, because way back when, I don't know, some kooky. Okay, but overall, I mean, the foam boards are really the biggest. Yeah,
there's nothing super exciting about this. It's a very light filler game. I don't expect outstanding pieces for that.
No, but I still think it's all right.
But yeah, I mean, it's not
all
bad.
Right.
It's fine. I'm probably going to give it a 5.5.
I'm going to give it a 6 because I do think the foam boards. If they would have given me cheap cardstock, I'd be, So, I mean, to be fair, I think it's all right. And I think the price point's fine for what you get. So I'm okay with that. All right. So let's then talk about actual themes. So the theme is you're a pirate and you are going to take different voyages, and throughout your voyages, you're going to collect different prizes, AKA tiles, and you're trying to make sure they fit on your ship just the right way so that when the sheriff comes looking, they don't see your stuff.
Well, this is your hold of your ship, and you're trying to fill it with your bounty. So you're trying to get treasure, cannons, and contraband.
But if you get too much contraband, you don't get any because the sheriff catches you.
If you don't get enough cannons, you don't get any money there either because you got outfired by your rival pirates in theory.
Correct. So, and then straight up gold because gold's always useful. Okay.
So I mean, I think the pirate theme fits this pretty well.
Yeah. No, I think it was fine. And the fact that there is a little bit of, I don't want to say, I guess it's a little bit luck because you're drawing a number based on other people, and sometimes you get. Because there's a lot of times I'm like, oh, cool, I want in the middle. I'm going to press a middle card, and then like the top people like cancel each other out, and I'm like, I didn't want the top.
It's unintentional backstabbery in this.
Yeah, which is fine because then it doesn't feel so personal sometimes because you get people that can't handle it.
You've got the rats that are in the cargo holds, by default that you got to try to cover up. I thought it was pretty clever.
No, I thought there wasn't. Then like you got this high contraband, which can be very costly. So I mean, overall, there's some cool stuff too.
Yeah, thematically, I think it's a good solid theme. It's not like heavy in theme, but it all makes sense with the pirates, and
I think it's a fine theme for what it is. Overall for theme, what would you give it?
Probably 6.5, just because it's not like very heavy, but it is there, and it is intrinsic to the gameplay.
I actually agree with that. A 6.5 I think is a good score. I was debating between 6 and 7. I'm like, 6.5. There you go. It's right in the middle. So I agree with you on that one. So let's talk about the rule book now.
I love the rule book.
It's
the
really
cover of it. It's
pretty.
Really cool. It's got the little rat gone there, the ink from the spilt on it. I love the cover of this. And here's the best part. This game takes 3 pages of rules to learn. That's it.
Yeah.
And that's probably more than you need because it's very straightforward game. It's so simple to learn and to teach. But it's a quick filler game, and we'll get to gameplay in a minute, talk about our thoughts on it. But for this game now, it is small font. I'll say that to get it onto the 3 pages. So if your eyes are bad like mine, again,
but these are actually thick pages, so that's kind of nice.
Solid. It's not. It's not your typical rulebook thickness. So it is glossy, which also doesn't help with the eye problem with it. So from the fact that, there's no confusion when you read through it. It's not confusing at all. It's laid out fine, but it is tiny font. So given the font and the reflection of the glare from the glossiness, I'll probably get a 7 just because of that. Probably would have bumped it up a little higher otherwise because, it is simple to learn from here and teach.
Yeah. All right. So now it's time to teach you guys. Okay. So basically, we're actually going to go through a round because it's that easy.
Well, so I need to adjust this because I set it for 4 players. So.
All right. So basically you have Voyage 1. They get shuffled. Now, in future voyages, aka rounds, it will be based on whoever has the most coins will get the highest number after randomly drawing the number of players.
Now, there is a variant for 2 players, but we are just going to demo what you actually do if you play with multiple players.
Okay. All right. So we flip this over. Okay. So there's a couple of things to notate on these cards. So first you have these rats here. There were negative victory points if you don't end up covering them up, basically displacing them. And this number up here in the corner is actually also important. This number will break ties. And so there you go, just a FYI. So then there's also 6 stacks. You're going to pick a stack. I typically play green when there's not purple. And so I will take my stack here. You have your stack. And so what we see here is this pile. Now, we can look, but we cannot touch.
You can't touch. You're not allowed to move the tiles. You can only look down and kind of estimate how far down things are and see what you can see. Because there's 3 items on each tile, but they're positioned differently and they're different values. So you have a gold, you have a cannon, and you have a contraband. The sum total of those 3 items will be 8 on every tile. Yeah. But it could be 800, it could be 440, it could be 26 or 260, it could be 233. It could be any distribution. Yeah.
All right. So knowing that, though, then I have a deck of 1 to 10 cards. Okay. And so I'm going to decide based on the highest number will get the top tile. So I could say, you know what? I actually like the first tile quite a bit.
Oh, so you're giving me ideas on what you're playing.
I am. All right. So I kind of like it quite a bit. So I'm going to lay down a fairly high card. And then we're going to flip over at the exact same time. Oh, I beat him.
Yep,
Look
you
at
played
that.
a 9, I played an 8. So you get the top tile. I get the next one down.
Now, with that, I get to decide the orientation of my tile. Now, it seems like there's an up-down because like 440. That's just a reference point, but you can flip this sideways, whatever. It is a cube, so it can fit whatever. So, for example, I want to cover up my 3 mouse, not my 2. Now, once I lay it down and we go to collect the next tile, it cannot be moved any further. It's very sad when at the end you're like, if I could have just, but so knowing that. So I'm going to set it down and then we're going to go for that second round.
Now the cards you play are out of play until you get down to one card. And then when you get down to one card, you'll redraw your cards back up.
Yep.
So
I'm missing a card.
You're missing your 9.
Nope. I'm missing my 10. All right.
But you don't need it.
I do, actually. All right. So we are going to, we're going to do this again. We'll do this for the full round. Pick something.
I'm picking something.
Ready, set, flip. Okay. All right. So then, once again, this is so beautiful.
Now, if you manage to get it such, because there's 3 on each one and there's 9 positions, if you manage to get it perfect where you get all your spots covered with some kind of bounty, then you get an 8 coin bonus automatically for having that. That's not going to happen this round for me because I can already see that from the tiles that are up there.
Yeah, I know. I don't have a lot of... Oh, hold up. I may... change my mind on what I want to play. Oh, well, whatever. It is what it is. Okay. Ready, set, flip. All right. So I was first in that one. I'm going to take this one. And... Oh, I really don't like this. This did not work out the way I wanted it to. All right. Well... Whatever. Is what it is this way. All right, now it's time to score. Now that we have 3 tiles in play, you're going to score what's on top here. So the first thing is you're going to count the gold. So I have 10 gold showing. So it doesn't matter what you've hit. It's only what you're showing.
Whereas I have 1 gold, so I did not fare well.
I may have won this round just due to that.
Well, I got lots of cannons, though.
Oh, wait, because it's only 2-player. So I have 5 cannons. You have
12.
All right, because I have the lowest amount of cannons, I get nothing, but...
I subtract her cannons because in theory she defended against me. So I get 12 minus 5, so I get 7 money for my cannons.
Correct. And then next we go to contraband. So whoever has the most contraband doesn't get anything, but everyone else gets theirs. So you got 3, which means he had the highest, which means I gain 1.
Oh, yeah, because you have 1 as you're showing?
Yes.
So, yes, you won this round.
All right, so I have 11 coins. You have 8.
8.
So then when we go to do Voyage 2, like I mentioned earlier, we'll randomly draw 2 of these. All right, and because I got the most victory points, I will take the one with the highest number. These will get discarded. This will go away. And basically...
And your money you've already accumulated is banked. You don't...
Yes, so you never lose that. All right, and so that is the game. You do this 2 more times, and then you take whatever final money is and determine the winner. Now, something to be said for him saying that this should have been a hit and wasn't. I feel like it should have. It's light, it's fun. I'm surprised it didn't get as much attention.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun. I think that I don't know how Calliope Games, is distributed. It's not, I can't think of a big hit game that was manufactured or published, I should say, by Calliope. I can't think of one anyway. So I think it had that going against it. I will say, I think that, from a fun factor and a filler game, this is a great game.
This is great filler game.
I know everyone that's played it has enjoyed it, and it's so simple to teach and get out and set up and take down. I mean, I think it's good, but I just don't think it got the mass distribution, mass appeal from that. But, as far as my enjoyment of it for a quick filler game, I think this is probably a 7 for me. I think it's a solid filler game. It's just, I would say also it's not very portable to play it at like a restaurant or a pub or anything. It takes up a decent amount of real estate for.
Yeah, I mean, not horrible. Well, the more players you have, obviously, I guess the more.
And I think it's better at more players. Like, obviously, 2 it doesn't work very well. You're going to have to add in the 2-player rules, which I think adds a kind of dummy third player.
I did think more people were more fun.
Yeah, I agree.
I did, but you did end up getting duplicates a lot more than 2, and I think that's the key. So we played with 3 players, and then we played with 5.
We had 4.
4. 4. And then this can go up to 6. So I would love to see this at 6.
Yeah.
So no, I think you're absolutely right. I think the more players, the better that this gets, especially because you'll have more, ties and breaking, and so there's certain things that would make more sense.
To explain how ties work, if 2 players have the same number, they both eliminate each other, or more players than 2, because you could have multiple players tied with the same. But basically, you could end up playing a 1 and still be the high because everybody else tied and got eliminated.
Which, if you're playing a 1, that's what you don't want, right?
Which is what happened to me during the game we played with
It happened to
Heather.
me a couple of times, too. So no, that's a legit thing that ends up happening with more players. And actually, that kind of gives it some spontaneity, some fun to it. And you got to figure out your tiles. So I'm okay with it. Yeah, what'd you give it, a 7? I think you're right about a 7. I think it's a fun filler game. I am surprised more people didn't catch on to this, but you're right, it may have to do with distribution. So, hey guys, it's still out there. I definitely recommend, if you're looking for a filler game, this is a nice one.
Especially if you like the pirate theme. It is a lot of luck, I'll say that, but I don't mind that, especially in a filler game, because you're it's what tiles come up, and then you're trying to figure out how to distribute them on your board.
Yeah.
Especially to get that full ship. I got it to happen one time, and that was because I was in last place, and on the third round, they kind of give you a catch-up mechanism where if you're in the last position, you'll get the lowest numbered ship, and they actually don't put rats in there, as many rats anyway. You get a lot more, you actually get some contraband or some gold already in your ship. And because of that, I was able to fill my ship, but I've never once managed to do it with just the tiles.
Yeah, I thought that the catch-up mechanism was actually pretty interesting. But then at the same time, the higher number breaks the ties, right? So for you doing better in the game, there is a benefit because eventually you end up breaking ties.
Yeah, I thought that only comes into play if you tie twice. So
correct.
If 2 people played 2 1s and then they played 2 3s, the 3s get eliminated as well, and then after that, then the tiebreaker is the number on your ship.
Yeah, and I thought that was fun. I think that worked out great. Well, guys, we had an absolute blast tonight. Hopefully you'll come hang out with us again. We'll catch you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.